Right, hi there. Today I just want to talk about getting the price right when you put a property on the market. There's two important factors that will decide whether the property is going to sell or not, and one is the price and two is the marketing. So today we're going to discuss the price. So the first thing I want to say is I never value a property, and I never use the words my opinion is this, or I think the house is worth that, or the market value is the other. It's very important not to give my opinion, and I'll tell you the reason why. It's because when you give your opinion, the seller will probably have a different opinion, and if there's two of them, they'll have two different opinions. And if you've got two different opinions, you're creating a conflict, and that's not what we want. So I want to be on the same side of the owner. So actually, physically, I'll sit on the same side as the owner, have a table or sit next to them on a sofa and say, look, together, we're going to try and establish the market value. And then once we've established the market value, then we can talk about asking prices and how we can achieve the best price. So the market value is different to the asking price. And there's three main indicators that are going to help us establish the market value. And those three things are: one, comparable sold properties that have sold recently nearby. Secondly, the price per square foot, or the value per square foot. And thirdly, how much the house price has gone up since they bought it. Now I'm going to discuss those three things in the next videos, but it's important to point out that when I talk to the owner, I say, look, this isn't an exact science, and nobody can tell you exactly what this house is worth. And the reason for that is that it's worth different amounts to different people. A great example of that is a house we just put on the market recently, a guide price of 160,000 with an open house that was on last Saturday. When the property went on the market, the owner let someone round before the open house, and the buyer said, I'll buy it for 160,000, and the owner said, you know, I've got this open house, and the buyer said, look, if you don't accept my offer, I'm going to buy something else, and I want you to cancel the open house. So the owner said to cancel the open house. However, we convinced the owner not to cancel the open house and said, look, we've got people booked in, and on Saturday we had 9 viewings and we had 4 other offers, and I can't remember the exact figures that the other people offered, but the highest offer was £170,500. So the other offers were probably around 162, 165, 167. So, you know, there's 4 or 5 offers in total, including the first one. And each buyer had a different opinion on the value of that house. There'll be some agents said that house was worth 160, and someone might say it's worth more or less, but nobody can predict what a house is going to sell for. The number of open houses I've done, and we thought, oh, that's going to sell for this figure or that figure, and it's sold for a lot more or a lot less. So the market will decide on the value, not the agent. And an important point to add is that when I say to the owner about choosing which agent, decide which agent you want to use based on what service they're going to offer, not based on what they say the house is worth, because you know nobody can say what the house is worth, and they're just sort of guessing, most of them. So all I would say is do your research, provide the evidence, and it's a bit like at school, that you might know the answer to a question and the teacher would also say, well, show me your working out. And I think that's the same when it comes to selling a house. You might have sold lots of houses in that street, you might know exactly what it's worth, but you've got to demonstrate the evidence and show that you've done your research, and then say to the owner, here's the evidence, and then discuss it. So in the next videos, I'll go through those 3 indicators that we can use. Hope that was useful.